Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about the new hero, and I was gravely mistaken about the new hero. So pretty much I'm just here to talk about the new hero. The good, the bad, the ugly, all that BS. You know how it is. At the moment I'm currently around about like rep 1, halfway through rep 1. I think I'm like level 13 or something, which I think is like halfway. So I've got good experience, and I also like to classify myself as a big brained player, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I just wanted to come on today to talk about a new hero, give you guys the information that you might want before making a decision on buying, or making a decision on if she's worth the steal or not. Like, I'm just gonna relay the information. The rest is up to you, my friend. The rest is up to you. Talk about the moveset. Alright, I was gravely mistaken. I was very mistaken. I thought she was going to be similar to Highlander and Aramusha. I was wrong. The reason, or Shaolin, sorry, but I was wrong. And the reason why I was wrong is because I thought to be able to stay in the stance, right? You know how she has 3 stances, right? To be able to stay in them, I thought you had to hold the light button or the heavy button in order to be able to stay in the stance. That isn't the case, right? The second you throw an attack, light, heavy, whatever, you are in a stance. You are in a stance, meaning you are GB vulnerable. Now, obviously, that sounds scary, but it's, the reason for that is because you have a very quick repost attack, or not even repost, like every single one of your lights is pretty quick, right? So although that sounds scary, it isn't. Why? Because the only thing that can beat you within that stance is an undodgeable attack or a GB. You thought a ballista going out your booty hole was scary? Don't worry about it. You can weave out of the way. That's right. You can weave out of the way. You're fine. So that's the first part, right? I thought it was going to be difficult to be able to use all of those stances while holding the button, but no, that's not the case. So when I said that she's going to be like high level, high skill ceiling, I can kind of see it, but at the same time, I feel like high-level Shaolin players are going to be more cherished and adored still, as opposed to the nouveau Chusa hero, alright? So that's that. Now, just to reiterate, in case you missed it or live under a rock or whatever, you have an infinite chain. What does that mean? You can throw light, it doesn't matter. You can throw heavy, you're fine. You can do light, heavy, light, heavy, you're fine. The only thing is, the attack that you finish on, right, your finisher, because that's pretty much how it is when you're in the stance. You're pretty much only throwing finishes. So when whatever stance you are in, that is the stance you your attack finisher is on. So for an example, if you're in the top stance, you're getting a 400 ms light, you're getting an unblockable, and you're getting a bash, and the bash is nice, you get a light out of it. So let's say you finish off with a top unblockable on the top stance, right? If you were to throw a right heavy, you still have an unblockable. However, once you finish that attack on the right side, so let's say your unblockable is on the right side, your light and heavy properties now change. You now have a light crushing counter if you're attacking from the right side, and you have a hyper armored heavy, and that hyper armored heavy is beautiful. I feel like the GB vulnerability is very nice. It might be the same as other heroes, I'm not entirely sure, because I don't play many heroes with hyper armor. Like, I can, but I don't. So I'm not entirely sure. Meaning, if you're in the right stance and some bastard tries GBing you out of it, have I got news for you? You can throw that hyper armor heavy, because you can kind of react to it. For the reactards out there, kind of react to it as soon as you see the animation, and you can throw it. And if it's not safe, as in they bait your heavy, your hyper armor heavy, you can always cancel it, so you're fine. So it's a safe move. Just to reiterate, let me just go through everything, right? Your lights opener and your heavy opener, I think they were same on the same side from the base stance. However, when you're on the top stance, which is dueling stance, you get a 400 ms light, and this is your finisher from the top stance, by the way. And realize why I'm saying your finisher, because it doesn't matter what place you finish on, kind of your stance is what matters. Well, it does matter, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So when you're in your top stance, when you're in your dueling stance, you have a 400 ms light finisher. Or it's not really a finisher since you have an ongoing chain or infinite chain, but you get what I'm trying to say. You get a 400 ms light, you get an unblockable heavy, and you get a bash, and that bash guarantees a light. From the right stance, aka the ganking stance or the team fight stance, I don't entirely know the name, you get a crushing counter light, you get a hyper armor heavy, and you get a bash, which is like an arc that wall splats your enemies. Now, it sounds nice, but if you don't have a wall next to you, and if you're not in a team fight, not very nice, because you cannot feint it, and it's pretty slow. So even if you're on the PlayStation 4, you'll react to it. Is anyone even on the PS4 anymore? I'm not entirely sure. So that's the right side. The left side, you get a light that does bleed damage, which does 13 damage total. 1 damage, normal damage, and then you have 4 ticks of 3 of bleed. So total 12. That obviously goes nice with Nabushi, Shaman, Peacekeeper, you know how it is. For the heavy, you pretty much get a standard heavy, however it does 30 damage. And it's not a sweep, it's more like a poke. So yeah. Now, having said that, that's one thing that I didn't talk about. I talked about the right bash, but I didn't talk about the left bash. Whoops. For the left bash, you pretty much just get something like Medjai, right? Where you Medjai's bash, where you do a forward bash in the staff mode. You pretty much get that. Whoopsie. I'll just add that in between. There we go. The only part where you need to use your brain is by remembering what stance you're in, or what the last attack you threw was. The reason why I say that, because that's how my brain works. If I know that I threw a hyper armored heavy, right, and if I know I threw a hyper armored heavy from the right side, I'm still good. But you need to keep in mind the stance you're in, because if you throw your hyper armored heavy from the left side, you no longer have hyper armored heavy. Now the good news is you can do dumb doo-doo BS since you're in an infinite chain. What that means is you can do it. You can throw another heavy, feign that into a top light, and you're good. The other thing that you can do is it has soft feints, and this is a good way to be able to bypass like that kind of shackles that you're in, right? Let's say you're in the left hand, let's say on the left stance, where you don't necessarily want to throw the 30 damage heavy, or you don't want to necessarily do bleed. You can throw a heavy and soft feint a top light, for an example, where it's 400 ms, or you can throw the left heavy and soft feint that into a top heavy, which is going to be an unblockable. Or let's say you have a raider who's being like keep throwing you heavy, and you're getting pissed, and you're like, no, what? I'm gonna trade with your dumb ass. You can do that. You can throw the left heavy, soft feint that into a right heavy. Therefore, you now have a hyper armored heavy, and you can just keep going round and round and round. So yeah, I would say that she's most likely, I don't think she'll take that much skill to play. I know a lot of people are saying that she's gonna have a high skill ceiling, and the only reason why I would say that is because of the crushing counter. Like I said, I'm halfway through rep 1 at the moment, and I'm kind of struggling to use the crushing counter lights. That's like the only issue I have at the moment. Like the soft feint is fine, I got that. The attack you throw or attack you finish, or the stance you finish in, I'm fine. I understand that as well. Everything's fine. So I'm at the point where I can play brainless. The only issue is the crushing counter light. I'm kind of struggling to use that because I'm afraid of what the enemy is going to do, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. You know, when you're trying to look saucy, because crushing counter lights are always saucy. I'm trying to get them with the new Virtusa, but I am struggling because there's a lot to look out for when you're in the stars. You have to look out for the undodgeable. You have to look out for the GB, and I am playing against bots, right? So it's most likely harder since all of the bots that I'm playing against are level 3. And the thing that I noticed against bots is, well, at least with level 3 bots, is that they always go for a GB. So I can't necessarily throw my crushing counter light because I'm always watching out for their guard break. But when I'm playing against actual people, obviously that'll be a different story. So just to reiterate for the dumbos out there, right? From the top stance, you get 400 ms light, you get an unblockable. From the right stance, you get the crushing counter light and hyper armored heavy. From the left side, you get a bleed light and a 30 damage heavy, so just a normal heavy. You can soft feint all of these to get the property that you want. You want an unblockable, soft feint into a top unblockable. You want a 400 ms light, soft feint into a top light. You want to I'm not actually sure if you can bash. I haven't tried that out. I don't know why. So you might be able to get a top bash. I'm not entirely sure about that one, sir. Since you actually need to be in the stance to be able to use it. I don't know. That I haven't tested out. But yeah, you can soft feint into the right heavy if you want a hyper armored heavy. You can soft feint into the right light if you want to get a crushing counter, which would look saucy if you can. Let's see a dumbass Orochi and Shinobi, because it's always nice to style on them Shinobis and Orochis, you get what I'm saying? So you might be able to like do a top heavy feint that, and they're gonna try and go for a deflect and they might fuck up, so they're gonna be like, no, I want to go for the light for safety, and then you might be able to CC that. No, you can't, because the soft feint comes out from the right side only at the beginning. Oh well, you get what I'm trying to say, right? Or maybe they're gonna do a right dodge attack. So you guys get what I'm trying to say. You can soft feint into the property that you want. However, when you are soft feinting, the property that you want is coming out from that side for the initial hit, because you're soft feinting, right? If you want to get the property, you need to be in that stance first. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. For the people that want to talk about the feats, I feel like the feats are okay. Her T4 feat is very nice, since she has no range and heals everyone, and your allies get plus 25% armor. So that's nice. And then her T3 I think is really good as well. The minus 25% that the enemies get when it comes to armor, so you're dealing additional damage, is very nice. As for her tier 1 and tier 2, her tier 1 basically says you can get into your stance easily. Like, you don't have to throw an attack to be able to get into your stance. I find that kind of useless. I wish you could do a backstep light. You can't do that with her, which would have made it even more pointless, but you can do a heavy, and you can do like feint your dodge attack and stuff. And let me tell you guys, abuse your dodge attacks, right? Abuse your dodge attacks. They come out from every single side, so you can do a forward dodge left light, or you can do a forward dodge right light, or you can do a left dodge right light. It doesn't actually matter. Like, similar to Zanu, except you decide on the angle you want. It's like Orochi Storm Rush, right? It's kind of like Orochi Storm Rush. You input the attack that you want, or the direction you want to attack with, by using the stick, the analog stick, or your indicator, before you actually input the light attack. And you want to use that because, let's say you do a left light, you're now in your left stance, or let's say on your right light, you're in your right stance. So something to keep in mind about when you're in a team fight, because it will matter a lot. You're going to be target swapping, etc. in force. That's going to be nice. All right, now going back to the beats. So tier 1, you're able to enter any one of your stances from the get-go. You have to press a button and your character automatically gets into the stance. And I believe when you enter your stance, or I think it was when you attack, I can't entirely remember, you get 10 HP. So that's your second feat. Now, I don't necessarily use T1 or T2 when I was playing against AIs, because I kind of find it useless. I don't think it's that difficult to be able to get into the stances for your tier 1. So the second tier 1 I think is rapidly reviving your bastards, your friends, your allies, whatever. And then the third one for your T1 is the lowest stamina usage, which is what I like, because it does seem like she uses a lot of stamina, especially when you're in your stance. You can't recover your stamina. Let me repeat that, because I think a lot of people might get dumbfounded at when they actually go for it, or when they first experience it. You do not gain your stamina when you're in that stance. So heads up, do not run out of stamina, otherwise you know what happens. Now for the tier 2, like I said, you get 10 HP for I think every attack you throw. I don't know if it was every attack you throw, or if it was like when you enter the stance. I'm not entirely, I can't remember entirely. However, it has a 10-second cooldown, which is fair, I would say. However, if the cooldown was like 4 seconds, I don't know, man. 10-second cooldown every 4 seconds, it might be a bit much. Maybe 10 seconds is good, but I don't necessarily like it. Instead, I use the one that Warden has, where like your allies deal more damage with that ring around you. That's the one that I use because, well, I mean, I'm playing Breach at the moment, so good. And I think it's good in team fights as well, as opposed to like getting the 10 HP, especially if your friends are able to deal more damage than the 10 HP that you gain within the 10 seconds. I think it's worth the trade. Her T3 is beautiful, and it'll be even more beautiful in DOMs and in team fights, because like I said, your enemies, right, get minus 25% damage every time you're able to do a riposte. And maybe I should have covered this before in the moveset, but your riposte is basically your character, Virtusa, weaves, and then you can follow up with a light to be able to do a riposte, and every time you get riposte, the enemy gets a minus 25% armor. So basically you're dealing an additional 25 damage to make it easier for you to understand. I think that also has a 10-second cooldown, but obviously it's better because it's offensive. And you're going to be that minus 25% is very nice, and it lasts, I think, like a while. I can't remember the exact duration, but it lasts a while. As for your T4 you can basically heal everyone on the map, which includes your commander if you're into breach, for 50 HP. And this is obviously good with the new updates on the HUD, the top widget thing you have. You're able to see every single one of your friends' or allies' HP with the bars. You can kind of time it. So if you're in zone C, for an example, and there's a team fight going on in zone A, and everyone on your team is fighting there apart from you, you're just boosting, and they're like, all of them are flashing, or all of them have 2 bars, you can use your full feet to be able to give them that edge, which will be useful, and you know, give them a little bit of an advantage, especially if they kind of suck in team fights. So that's your T4. But additionally, with the 50 HP, they also get a plus 25% armor. So for your dumb ass, what basically that means is the amount of damage that they take is now 75% of the original, which is obviously nice because you're going to get damage reduction and you're going to last longer, and then you got a plus 50% HP, like that's juicy. And then let's say you're also in a team fight and the enemy has a minus 25% debuff, you're dealing even more damage, you get what I'm saying? You got a nice boost. Now obviously the bad thing is, like, the bad thing at the moment is, like, it's a new character, right? So every single human you see most likely is going to be using Virtue, so everyone's going to be having a debuff and everyone's going to be having a buff. So that necessarily doesn't mean anything at the moment, but when the time comes, let's say like 2-3 weeks down the line, when it's kind of died down a little bit, it's cool. So yeah, my personal opinion, and I guess this is one of the bad things about it, but it just might be me, is when you're in your stance, I wish it was a little bit quicker to be able to get back into base stance, because as beautiful as it is to be able to get crushing counter, and as beautiful as it is to be able to like weave and then do a repost, I would love to be able to like go back into base stance, get the light parry if they were gonna try and do some dumb shit because no attack hits me. But let's say maybe they're trying to interrupt my follow-up, right? I wish I would be able to like cancel and then go into base stance and then parry the light that they're gonna throw. And I know you can, you know, feint the heavy and then go into the base stance that way. That's nice, but that takes time and it doesn't look as cool. I think that's the only issue I have. Let me do a quick summary on what I mean. It takes a little time, like some time, maybe like a second or so, or if you're talking about MS, maybe like 500 MS to be able to go back into base stance, because you first need to get into your stance and then you need to cancel or feint from your stance, like just circle or whatever, to be able to get back into base. I tried doing this as quick as I could, but if the opponent is going to be spamming GB as soon as you throw a light, anticipating the fact that you're going to stay in your stance waiting for them, you're going to get guard broken. So that's one thing that I'm trying to work on, and I don't think a lot of people have realized this yet. Most people, or most virtuosos, end up either 1 being patient or 2 being trigger happy. So if you find the type of person that you're playing against, you'll be fine, right? If they're gonna wait for you to do an attack, you got a free guard break. If they're gonna spam the light, you can get a free parry. And if they're gonna hit you with a heavy, and if they're gonna throw a heavy and soft feint light, okay, then you're then watch out, because you're most likely playing a good virtue. So okay, just a heads up. I'm pretty sure majority of the people that are playing, you will most likely probably understand the way the hero works, because obviously me telling you all of this is nice and all, but when you actually have the character in between your lap, pardon my French, but when you have the character in your hands, when you're actually playing the hero, it's different. Obviously, you know, it's nice to know all the theory behind it, but it's obviously better to put it into practice. So for majority of you players, I think you'll most likely understand the hero when you hit rep 1. If you're maybe average, maybe like halfway through rep 1. If you're good high level, you'll probably understand how to be able to play the character with like level 10. It's not that hard, especially if you're going into the training grounds, because I didn't necessarily go into the training grounds. I said screw it, I want to get my XP as quick as possible. I want to get my rep 8. Hence why I'm playing with AIs, because the thumbnails, man, I need to look nice and saucy for the thumbnails and for the enemies that I'm going to be killing. You get what I'm trying to say? I can't be looking like a peasant. That's not how we roll. That is not how we roll, sir. But yeah, all in all, that's the good thing. So that's the only bad thing that I have about the hero list. I wish you can get into the stance better. Maybe my timing sucks. Obviously, the more I play, the easier it will get. But yeah. So, to reiterate, overall, my verdict is, and the most important thing is, the hero is fun to play. Do not worry about the skill level, it's fine. You'll be able to use her indoors, you'll be able to use her in fours. Is she going to be the best duelist? Most likely not. Is she going to be the best fours character? Most likely not. But she's fun to play and she's most likely viable in all of those modes, so you'll be fine. If she's beautiful, if you find her beautiful, because I personally find her a bit annoying, but she's growing on me, I won't lie. If you personally find her nice to play, her fashion is nice, if you care about the gameplay, you're fine. It's kinda also easy to be able to chain with other heroes in team fights, to be able to pin the person. And yeah, man, overall she's fun to play. She's got some nice fashions, like I said before, in the Warriors Den. She's got some nice weapons. Like I said, initially I found her very annoying, but she's kind of grown on me. And yeah, as opposed to the gameplay, I feel like she's a good hero in ones and fours. I don't think she's OP. I know a lot of people might be saying she's OP. You'll get used to it in time. Every single character is OP when they first release. Just clench your butt cheeks and push through. You'll be fine. And other than that, yeah, is she gonna be worth the 15k steal? That's pretty much up to you. Like I said, I played the old hero. I don't know what the hero was before. I don't really know how to say her name. Not really as fun. Same thing with Sohei. Sohei was fun until Reptile, but then it got kind of repetitive and boring. This one is unique. This one is fun. She's also like agile as well. So if you like heroes that are agile, I know most of you guys like playing Orochi. Most of you guys like playing Shinobi and stuff. So if you're a person that likes playing those heroes, you'll most likely have fun playing her as well. If you also like playing hard hitters, you will also like this woman as well, because she's got that as well. And if you like playing a hero that's good in team fights, she's good in team fights as well because of them hyper armors, because the hyper armor does have some nice wide range to it, as well as like the bashes and stuff too. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hopefully this video has been useful to you. If you haven't got it, if you haven't decided on what you want to do, etc., I hope this kind of helps you make a decision, because I know a lot of people look at the hero, but it's obviously nice being explained to as well, the good, bad, the ugly. I know not a lot of people like to talk about the ugly. She doesn't have a lot of ugly apart from the fashion. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the battlefield, my friend.